Hello everybody, this is Mr. Bowman. Today we're going to be looking at the ALEKS topic, computing side length, surface area, and volume for similar solids. So we have two similar prisms here, and their widths are shown, and we only need one. If they tell us they're similar, we only need one corresponding piece of information in order to find that scale factor. So remember, we're going from here to here. So I'm going to divide backwards, so I'm going to do 6 over 5. So my scale factor is 6/5 because that doesn't reduce. Okay. So, and that notice that is greater than 1, which makes sense because it's getting bigger. So you can always kind of use that to make sure that you are doing it correctly. So if you had 5 over 6, 5/6 is less than 1, so which means if I multiply this by it should be getting smaller. And so numbers smaller, well, absolute values that are smaller than 1 should be getting smaller. Absolute values of the bigger one should be getting bigger. So this is interesting because we're doing surface area, volume, and height, which are all 3 different dimensional analyses. So notice this one is linear, right? It's a standard thing. This one is squared because it's an area. This one's cubed because it's a volume. That changes our scale factors as well, because remember the scale factor, it doesn't change the scale factor. It changes how we use the scale factor, since the scale factor applies to all the dimensions, so length, width, and height. So we'll start at C here, but it doesn't really matter after you get the idea. But so since this is just a normal unit, so we have height, our 30 on the left, we're going to use our normal scale factor. So it's just 30 times 6/5, which will land us at 36 centimeters for the height. Okay. This one, we have 375 for the surface area, but if I just multiply by 6/5, that won't work, because remember the surface area is a length and a height, or whatever, or length width, depending on which side you're looking at. So you're using the scale factor twice, once for the length and once for the height. So I'm going to take that 375, multiply it times 6/5, but I'm going to multiply it times 6/5 again. Okay, so I have to multiply it twice, and that little unit there's remind you that. So there's going to be 2 6/5 in here. So it's 375 times 6 divided by 5. Sorry, 375. Ooh, I typed that in wrong. Times 6 divided by 5 times 6 divided by 5. So we end up with 540 for the surface area. So the other thing you can do is you can just square it. You could do 6/5 squared and get 36 over 25 and do that times 375. It's the same thing. It's multiplication, so you can do it in whatever order you need to. All right, so volume, we're going to have 3 because remember it's length, width, and height. There's 3 normal linear measurements that it applies to. So I'm going to need 3 6/5. So I'm going to take 500 times 6/5 times 6/5 times 6/5. Do that 3 times, and we end up with, I got 864. I'm going to double check that really quickly. Yep, 864. So 864 cubic centimeters for that one.